Have you ever wondered why the moment you begin to heal, awaken, or choose peace, the people closest to you sometimes pull away? Why your calmness irritates them, why your silence makes them uncomfortable, why your new boundaries seem to offend rather than inspire? It feels confusing because you are becoming more loving, more aware, and more conscious. But instead of harmony, you suddenly feel distance. Instead of support, you face resistance. And instead of being celebrated for your growth, you feel misunderstood. This experience is far more common than you think, and Yogananda spoke often about the vibrational gap that appears when a soul begins to rise. When you change your inner world, your outer world reacts. Your energy becomes lighter, your presence becomes clearer, and your heart becomes steadier. But your family may still be living in old emotional patterns, old wounds, and old ways of relating to you. So your healing becomes a mirror, showing them what they are not ready to face within themselves. Your evolution disrupts the familiar roles of the family. Your peace exposes their restlessness. Your clarity challenges their illusions. And your boundaries break the unspoken agreements that kept the old system in place. This is why spiritual growth can feel lonely. You are not broken. You are not doing anything wrong. You are simply moving into a new vibration that others may not yet understand. But there is a way to stay rooted in grace, even when the world around you shifts. There is a way to grow without hardening, to rise without disconnecting, and to love without losing yourself. And when you understand this hidden reason behind family resistance, your path becomes softer, clearer, and far more empowering. Yogananda often reminded us that everything in this universe is vibration, including our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. When you begin to heal, your vibration naturally changes. You start releasing heavy emotions, you stop reacting to every trigger, you choose silence over drama, and you become more conscious of your inner world. This shift creates a lighter, calmer, and more refined energy around you. But the people you grew up with may still be living in the emotional patterns that you are now leaving behind. They may still respond from fear, insecurity, old habits, or unresolved pain. So when your energy becomes peaceful, and theirs is still restless, a natural friction is created. It is not because they dislike your growth. It is because your new vibration no longer matches the vibration they are familiar with. Think of it like changing the music in a room. If someone is used to loud, chaotic sounds, suddenly hearing soft, soothing music can feel strange or even irritating. In the same way, your inner peace can feel unfamiliar to your family. Your calmness may appear distant. Your silence may feel like judgment. Your boundaries may look like rebellion. But none of this is personal. It is purely energetic. You are simply rising into a frequency that they have not yet reached. This is why the beginning stages of healing often feel uncomfortable. You are learning to hold a new vibration in an old environment. You are adjusting to a new inner rhythm while others continue dancing to the old one. And even though this friction can feel painful, it is actually a sign of true growth. It means your energy is changing in a real, measurable way. It means your soul is moving forward. And it means you are becoming aligned with a higher, more peaceful state of being. One of the most surprising truths about healing is that your growth often challenges the comfort zone of the people around you. Yogananda explained that human beings cling to familiar patterns because those patterns give them a sense of identity and control. Even if the pattern is unhealthy, it is still comfortable because it is known. So when you begin to change, when you stop overgiving, stop apologizing for everything, stop absorbing everyone's stress, and stop participating in drama, you automatically disrupt the familiar roles inside the family. You are no longer the one who carries the emotional weight. You are no longer the one who stays quiet to keep peace. You are no longer the one who sacrifices your happiness to make others comfortable. And this shift can feel threatening to those who depended on your old version. They may not consciously realize it, but your growth forces them to look at themselves. Your strength highlights their avoidance. Your clarity exposes their confusion. Your healing brings attention to the wounds they are not ready to heal. In this way, your transformation becomes a silent invitation for them to evolve, and that invitation can feel uncomfortable. People don't resist you because you are wrong, they resist because change requires effort and courage. For many, staying the same feels safer than facing uncomfortable truths. This is why family members may say things like, "You've changed," "You are acting different," or "Why are you suddenly so distant?" What they truly mean is, "Your growth is disrupting my comfort zone." Understanding this removes the heaviness from your heart. You realize the resistance is not a sign to stop growing, it is simply a sign that you are breaking old patterns. Your evolution is not an attack on them. It is an act of liberation for yourself. And in time, your transformation may inspire theirs. Yogananda often said that families are not random, they are karmic classrooms chosen by the soul before birth. This means the people closest to you are part of your spiritual curriculum, and together you are meant to learn, grow, and resolve old patterns carried from past lives or ancestral lines. When you begin healing, these karmic patterns naturally rise to the surface because the soul is trying to clear what has been left unresolved. You may notice that old emotional wounds become more visible, or family reactions become more intense, just when you start finding inner peace. This is not a mistake. This is karma becoming conscious. Many families carry generations of fear, trauma, silence, suppression, or emotional imbalance. When you choose healing, you are not only changing yourself, you are disrupting the inherited pattern. You are breaking the chain. But those who are strongly attached to the old way of being may experience your healing as a threat. For example, if the family is used to emotional dependency and you suddenly become emotionally independent, they may feel abandoned. If the family is used to suppressing truth and you begin expressing yourself honestly, they may feel attacked. If the family is used to cycles of anger, blame, or guilt, and you stop participating, they may feel confused or powerless. In reality, you are not harming anything, you are dissolving the karmic knot that your soul came to untie. When a person transforms, the entire system feels the shift. This is why healing sometimes attracts resistance, it is the karmic pattern trying to hold itself together. Recognizing this helps you stay compassionate. You understand that you are not fighting people, you are simply outgrowing the karma that once bound you. And every step you take toward freedom helps your lineage move forward as well. One of the most tender parts of spiritual awakening is the feeling of loneliness that often appears as you grow. Yogananda beautifully explained that the soul expands beyond the familiar when it begins to awaken. This expansion creates a natural distance between you and the environments, habits, and relationships that once felt normal to you. When you heal, you start valuing peace more than noise. You choose truth over pleasing others. You prefer silence over unnecessary conversations. You feel drawn to meditation, self-reflection, and a more conscious way of living. But the people around you may still be operating from the old rhythm, reacting quickly, arguing easily, seeking drama, or staying attached to old emotional stories. So while you rise into clarity, they remain in a different state of awareness. This creates a quiet and sometimes painful distance. You may feel like you no longer fit in, even with your own family. The activities that once entertained you now feel draining. The conversations that once excited you now feel shallow. The places that once felt comfortable now feel heavy. And so you begin spending more time with yourself, not because you reject others, but because your soul is building a new inner foundation. This initial loneliness is not a punishment, it is a purification. It is the soul clearing out old attachments to prepare you for a deeper connection with the divine. It is the inner cave Yogananda spoke about, a sacred space where the heart grows strong, wise, and self-sufficient. Loneliness during awakening is simply a sign that you are transitioning from outer dependency to inner fullness. It is the space where your old self dissolves and your higher self begins to shine. What feels like isolation is actually transformation. And what feels like emptiness is the start of true spiritual companionship within yourself. When your healing begins to create resistance in your family, it becomes very important to stay rooted in grace. Yogananda often taught that true spiritual power is gentle, steady, and silent. You do not need to convince anyone of your growth, explain your choices again and again, or defend your transformation. Instead, your vibration becomes your message. When you stay calm, centered, and compassionate, people eventually feel the truth of your evolution. Leading by vibration means allowing your inner peace to speak louder than your words. It also means letting love flow quietly. You can love someone deeply without participating in their patterns or absorbing their emotional storms. Love does not require losing yourself. Grace does not require self-sacrifice. This is where healthy boundaries become essential. Boundaries are not walls, they are clear pathways that show how you wish to be treated. You can say no with kindness. You can create space with respect. You can protect your mental and emotional health without becoming cold or distant. Another important part of staying rooted in grace is releasing the need for validation. Your family may not understand your path right now, and that is okay. Your growth is between you and the divine, not between you and their approval. Yogananda encouraged seekers to silently pray for others, not from superiority but from oneness. When you wish blessings for someone, your heart remains open, even if your boundaries remain firm. And finally, keep returning to your spiritual practices. Whether it is meditation, prayer, breathwork, or quiet reflection, these practices anchor your energy when the outer world feels chaotic. They remind you of who you are becoming. When you stay steady in your center, resistance loses its power, and your healing becomes a quiet blessing for everyone around you, even if they do not see it yet. One of the most reassuring truths Yogananda shared is that the loneliness you feel during spiritual growth is never the final destination. It is simply a bridge, a transition from old connections to new, soul-aligned companionship. When your vibration rises, the universe naturally begins rearranging your relationships. People who resonated with your past version may drift away, not because they are bad or unloving, but because your energies are no longer in harmony. At first, this feels like loss. You may feel abandoned, misunderstood, or emotionally disconnected. But in reality, this space is intentional. It is the universe clearing your field so you can meet people who match your new level of clarity, peace, and consciousness. As your soul becomes more purified, you will naturally attract relationships that are kinder, deeper, and more uplifting. You will meet people who understand your silence, respect your boundaries, and appreciate your authenticity. You will connect with souls who speak your energetic language, people who inspire growth instead of triggering wounds, people who walk beside you instead of pulling you backward. Yogananda often said that when a soul sincerely seeks the divine sends companions along the way. These new connections may appear as friends, teachers, mentors, spiritual communities, or even brief but powerful encounters that shift your inner world. The loneliness you feel now is simply the empty cup being prepared for a sweeter nectar. It is not a sign that you are meant to walk alone, it is a sign that your soul is being aligned with higher companionship. Trust this transition. Trust the timing. Trust that the universe never removes without preparing to replace. What feels like solitude today will become strength, clarity, and divine support tomorrow. Your soul is not losing people, it is making space for those who truly belong in your next chapter. ***, my dear seeker, as we come to the end of this journey, I want to remind you with a soft heart that your healing is not a mistake, your growth is not a burden, and your spiritual awakening is not something you ever need to apologize for. You are not losing people, you are rediscovering yourself. You are not becoming distant, you are becoming aligned. And you are not walking alone, the divine walks beside you with every step you take. The resistance you feel from your family, the misunderstandings, the distance, the loneliness, all of it is simply a sign that your soul is shifting into a new vibration. Instead of seeing this as rejection, see it as redirection. Life is guiding you toward deeper peace, clearer purpose, and more soulful connections. You are unfolding into your true nature, and that process deserves your respect, your patience, and your compassion. As Yogananda taught, the soul that seeks truth is never forsaken, never forgotten, never left unsupported. The divine watches, guides, and protects you in every breath. So walk gently, shine quietly, and continue on this sacred path with faith in your heart. If this message touched you today, I invite you to write a comment below, share your experience, your insights, or simply type Jai Gurudev to offer your energy to this community. Your words may inspire someone who is quietly struggling. And before you go, tell me what you would like the next video to be about. What spiritual question should we explore together? What mystery of life or the soul would you like me to illuminate next? Your suggestions guide the next steps of this journey. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for choosing growth even when it feels lonely. Until we meet again, my dear seeker. Jai Gurudev.